Today I'm going to make some clouds passing by on this illustration that I made, and you can use any illustration that you'd like as well. Make sure that you already imported your illustration here, and don't forget to long press on it and convert layers to tracks. Now you can take a look at these tracks. There are a few here, so just to make it less confusing, I would like to rename these tracks, and you can if you want to, but you don't have to. But just for today, we're going to rename each track just so it's a little more clear on what each track is. Okay, now that you've done that, let's go ahead and resize this main picture. So let's go back to the top of this and just bring everything inside the group. And we're just going to grab on one of these handles and just make it the right size. So first I want to show more of the sky, so we can do the clouds pretty easily. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to show you what to do to be able to see the entire illustration. It's a pretty cool effect. Now, just a side note, sometimes you may see extra layers or tracks. Don't worry about those. If they're empty and you don't want them there, just long press on it and just delete them. Sometimes you have an extra track in Procreate and it just brings it over, so no problem. Let's go to the sky layer now, down here. And we want to add the clouds above this layer. So click on Add and Track. And one of my favorite animation styles is Studio Ghibli, and I love how they do clouds. So we're gonna try to copy that style today. Let's pick a brush, water, and wet sponge. I feel like this really imitates the Ghibli style pretty well. So let's make it a white cloud, and you can resize it to any size you like, but just start going anywhere and start drawing the clouds. You can already see this style coming alive here. And with this brush, I like it because you can actually lift your pencil and bring it back down, and it almost draws a second layer on it. It makes it more white like this. So this gives it a little more texture. Okay, just keep drawing as many clouds as you like, big and small. And now, because we want to animate the clouds passing by, we want to click on the background color and just change it to black or any dark color so you can see the clouds that you're drawing here. And just keep drawing a few off screen like this. Okay, it looks good. All right, once you're happy with your clouds, go down to that little sliver, long press, and we want to fill duration. Okay, now we want to add some shadows, a little bit of detail. So let's go ahead and click Add and Track. And now we're going to do the details on this track here. So have your pencil tool selected, and we're going to pick a color here. We're going to pick a bluish color, but try to make it a little different than the background sky color so that we can actually see it's part of the cloud and not part of the sky. And you can change your opacity to as much or as little as you like. There's no rules here. And we can make the pencil a little smaller as well if you like, and just start shading in the clouds. You can really see some depth being created here. It's looking really nice. And one thing I've noticed from the Studio Ghibli style is that you rarely see like gray or black shadows. Usually they're darker blues or greens that matches the paintings well. Okay, and that looks great. Again, go down to that little sliver, long press, and fill duration. And now we want to actually connect this track with the one below. So long press and mask and clipping mask. And now you can see all the shadows are kept within these clouds. Go ahead and deselect the drawing tool now. Before we start animating the clouds passing by, we have to click group, and we're going to group these two cloud items together. Long press and group. Deselect the group button now. And now we can move this entire track. So let's go down to this group and bring the playhead back to the beginning. Go underneath this group track here, the top one, right underneath it, and long press And we want set all easings and linear. This will make the speed of the clouds consistent. And notice we have a white beginning keyframe, so go to the end, click on it, and let's click move and move and scale, and now we have a white ending keyframe. So let's just bring the clouds a little bit to the right. We don't want it to go too fast. So let's take a look. And that's a perfect speed. Looks good. And as you've probably seen from my other videos, I don't like using just one track because it looks like a conveyor belt. So let's go ahead and make another one. Let's click on add, and this will be above the clouds. Add track. And we're gonna make some background clouds here. So click on the pencil tool. And we wanna change the color, not so white, maybe a little gray this time, so it stands out as different. Go down and unclick the group, the cloud group, so we can see a clear area, and just start basically sketching in the background clouds. These are going to be a little smaller, just so it looks like it's further in the distance, but we're still going to move them gradually later. And don't forget to draw clouds off screen as well. Okay, looks good. So now we want to go to the sliver, long press, fill duration. And click the playhead, click move, move and scale. And we're actually going to go to the end again. And click here, click the playhead, move, move and scale. And there's the ending keyframe. It's always white. And just start dragging these clouds. Try not dragging them too much because we don't want them to move as fast as the foreground clouds. So let's put it right about here is good. And let's check it out. Okay, good. It's very slow. That's what we want. Now let's zoom in a little bit and recheck the cloud layer, the foreground clouds. Let's take a look. Wow, that looks great. But we're not done yet. We finished the clouds in the sky, and now we're going to make the shadows of the clouds right here on the ground. So to do that, let's go to the foreground track here, bring the playhead to the beginning, and we're going to click add and track. Click the draw tool, and we want to click on the color here. We don't want white because this is going to be a shadow. So again, like I said before, we don't really want to use black or gray for shadows. So we're going to use a bluish type shadow. And let's bring the size up a little bit. Opacity is 100, and just start coloring in the shadows wherever you like. And of course, there are clouds above us that we can't see, so you can just draw random spots anywhere you like here on the ground. And draw some off screen as well. And this looks a little weird, but don't worry, we'll fix that very soon. Let's go to that sliver, long press, fill duration, and now we're going to make this a little more realistic. Click on the playhead, filter, and opacity. Bring the opacity down to about 70% right now. We're going to do a little trial and error. First, let's also click on the track, long press, blend mode, and we want multiply. Now you can't really see it until you play it. So now we can see it's very dark. So now we have an idea about where to move our opacity. Click on the symbol again, and let's bring it down even more, maybe to about 40%. That's pretty good. And deselect the draw tool. Flick this little symbol up until you see the playhead, and we're going to start animating. So click move, move and scale. You see the beginning white keyframe. Let's go to the end and click on the track here and click move, move and scale, and you see the ending keyframe. Now, just like the other clouds, we'll move these shadows to the right. Again, don't move them too far to the right so that they're not going too fast. Okay, that looks perfect. And if you have a further background track like me, like these hills, then you just repeat the same steps that we've been doing earlier. And I'll speed this up a little bit. and that looks great. Okay, we have one final touch to make sure that we can see our entire illustration that we worked so hard on. So let's go to the group here and just bring everything up so that we can just see this group. Now we want to click on the track here and click on the playhead. Click move and move and scale, and just go to the top of the picture here. And you can see the white keyframe is at the beginning. Now let's just go to where we want the camera to stop panning down. So we'll go to the 12-second mark. This is a 15-second video, so this will be good. So let's bring it all the way down to the bottom right here, and that should do it. Let's swipe it to the left and take a look. Okay, now let's watch it in full screen with 4 fingers and click play. And there you have it. I hope this level up tutorial can help you increase your skills using Procreate Dreams. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, please check out my links below, like my children's book and online shop. Click on these videos to continue leveling up with Procreate Dreams. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.